Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Monday, the 16th of May, 2022. We've had a bloodbath on crypto, Armageddon, some may say. All last week, really, but Thursday, Friday, really kicking in to overdrive to the downside on Luna. I think there's a lot of blood in the streets there in crypto, but a fantastic buying opportunity to others. And we will be covering a lot of that in the Discord room as we go forward. But for today, Monday, very light docket on the data slate for the day. Just a couple of ECB speakers here this morning. Not much transpiring from that. And I think Thursday, Friday, actually, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are going to be a bit more interesting in terms of volatility. Equities are recovering from what has been a tremendously bad 2 weeks to date. Not a huge recovery at the moment. We're seeing DAX down just shy of 0.5%. Same on the SPOOs, and Dow down 0.5% here. Gold, finding a footing here at 1788s. But let's go over and have a look at the charts. And so you can see on the dollar and the euro, we did break down into sort of what is probably a 2 week new low here on the euro up in the top left of your screen. Well, we'll make that bigger here. So we had this big old thick range that we've been kind of settled into since the 28th of April. And just breaking down there on last Thursday, bit of dollar strength coming into the market, pushing us lower here in the euro. So again, that momentum to the upside, which I was looking at getting on this morning. Yeah, I was on this earlier. Didn't really see the momentum. Obviously, I was getting in a little bit late stage. Anywhere here, above the APAC is you're really relying on momentum to come in there for you. But yeah, it's just too high now. I had limit orders in around 0417s, 0417s, just in around down, down here. Just wasn't going to get back in there really. But anyway, a little bit of retracement from last week's downside on the euro, with the dollar now coming back in. Interestingly enough, the dollar seems to be in this sort of a bear flag that it's kind of put in since the 6th of May here. So we could end up dropping out here. But, really for the big trades on the euro, I've got to wait until the ECB is ready to start hiking and give us a little bit more forward guidance on what that whole cycle is going to potentially look like. So we're going to drop the DAX now and look at the US markets and NASDAQ. We'll start off with the NASDAQ here on the daily bars. So you can see getting down to the levels of in and around November 2020 as 11,779s last week, a low. You can see we are retracing just a bit from that here, but really, talking with one or two members this morning in our room, I just don't believe these are the lows for the year. I don't think you do either. And so with that, are we wanting to load up the boats here and drive this up? Well, in the day time frame, maybe we are. I think holding a defense line 12,181s just below pivot here may yield us back to 12,701s, bottom of this range, and then we can look for the shorts to kind of shorts for new lows on the year. But weekly bars you're looking at here on the NASDAQ, and we certainly have sold down. Well, actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of selling so far. So are we due a little bit of a reprieve? Sure, I think we are. Yeah, definitely. So what is that going to look like this week? Well, who knows? But there is a lot of data to come. So to stay tuned as to how these markets sort of shape up today and coming into kind of more volatile Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and so definitely want to be paying respect to this range 12,701s. Ultimately, the pattern I would normally observe on this sort of structure would be we've broken out, we'll pull to the bottom of the range, and we'll actually sneak back in a little bit before putting excess in on the high, say of whatever week, before then heading south again, right? I think the best trade will come selling 701s on the downside. It's just, a question of timing that, which, I can't really do. Well, we all find that the hardest thing to do. So, looking out on the SPOOs here on the daily structure, yeah, we were looking at this as well. I think we may just have a bit more selling in it. Have we put in the low for the year on the SPOOs? While I would like to say that, and while it would be a tremendous opportunity here on the technicals on this linear regression up, I just don't know if that comment holds water. Let's see how we trade today and tomorrow. If we can manage to put and hold, new highs on last week, and kind of the prior weeks, ending in or starting off in May here, getting up to 40.93s. Well, then I think, maybe that statement may hold a bit of water, but until then, I am conscious that we could test down the lows of 2 weeks ago. So, but for now, it looks like the buyers are trying to come in and hold this market up. SPOOs holding on this very old gap here, 39.96 down to 76s. We are holding on this gap. You can see center of your screen, and we should be looking to get at least up to 40.56s, 62s here, and then I'd be neutral at that point on the SPOOs. The Dow, having a look at this. This kind of paints a different picture on the daily bars here. You can see quite a few technical areas I have on the chart here right now. A couple of lines in the sand, but I really think we should be able to get back up, at least to test on the trend in around this area here. Before then looking for, probably sellers to reload from here, but you're getting above as well. Just one thing to note, you're getting the 100 EMA, right, is about to cross down below the 20 EMA. So normally with that sort of a crossover, I would expect the market to try and test as far as it can back towards these average lines. But once we get the crossover, and it looks like we will get that by the start of business tomorrow, I think then shorts from this area are going to look pretty decent. So I'm going to really just make this a different color here. We're going to monitor trade on this area, on the retest, on the trend. So do stay tuned for that as we progress through the week. Looking at oil here this morning. Oil again languishing around. The European Union not really fully giving us details of the ban that I'm aware of at the moment. And so with that, we are just kind of lollygagging around 108.28s as a floor now, up to kind of 109.95s currently on this session. We've come back down from a pretty decent push high on the Globex reopen last night. But there is a gap below. It will take trade to 106.14 to close that gap. And then I think we can start to look for the longs getting up, and that'll be a pullback almost onto the 20 EMA here. So it'll be something a little bit like this, and then back up on the daily bar structure. But yeah, the perma bull in me is still alive and kicking. I don't see any reason to be long-term holding shorts on oil. I am short this market on the intraday this morning for all due diligence purposes or transparency purposes. What else can we see? Look, gold. We can have a look at the gold chart here. I mean, gold on the daily. Big, this is a weekly, big bull flag here now. What does that mean? Do I get long at market right now, close my eyes and come back in September? Well, if you want to do that, sure, but your risk is going to have to be below 16, probably 16.45s. So that's a lot of risk. That is a lot of risk. Just going to give you an idea of what that is you're barely making 2 to 1 on gold going to 2100s. You're making 2 to 1 there. That's a lot of risk. That's 1,565 ticks of risk. That's not how we trade in the intraday. But certainly 1788, which is the high of the week of the 9th of May, coming in as support this morning in what has been a bit of a weak market, down 0.5% on market right now. I would prefer to be getting involved on a push to the bottom of this flag. which would be about 1680s. Are we going to see that today, this week? Maybe. Yeah, we might see 1680s this week. And if we do, I would be a buyer. I would be a buyer looking for, transition back up across here and actually playing for a breakout above. And, now you're into a much better trade. But of course, we are relying on waiting for cheaper pricing to occur on gold. What else? That's kind of it now. Was looking at shorts on nat gas this morning. Gladly out of those now. It's just not really going anywhere. Looking like it doesn't want to fill the gap it has on the overnight on NYMEX. And 7 spot 962's target to the upside now on nat gas. So yeah, that's it. That's it for me for another pre-US look ahead. Please do have a good week, and if I'm not talking to you, take it easy. Cheers.